This particular piece of content is all about the 4 milestones of momentum. Now you're thinking, what the hell are the 4 milestones of momentum? Well, it was a bit of a brainwave I literally had on the way back from the gym today. So I thought, why not? Why not deliver this as a piece of content? Because this is how my brain works. This is the sort of thing that I come up with that will produce some content for, whether it's infographics, whether it's Lean Life University modules, whatever it may be. This is kind of like a process that we go through to help people achieve their goals, because it's all well and good saying it's about time, it's about patience, it's about calorie deficit, it's about letting consistency and time and patience do its thing, which is all absolutely 100% true. But putting that into practice is quite difficult. And even just getting that ball rolling in the first place can be a huge challenge. So what I want to do is talk you through a process for you to be able to do that. So if you're at the stage where you haven't yet got that ball rolling, so we're not running like Temple of Doom style, the ball's not rolling and trying to kill you, and you've not really kind of started your journey yet. So I want to be able to give you some tips and tactics and strategies to be able to start pushing that ball rolling to gather that momentum. And then likewise, if you're maybe a bit further down the journey, you've actually started, you feel like things are going well, but you just need to say, well, how do I actually keep this going? I'm doing all right, but I've fallen off the wagon before. How do I make sure that doesn't happen this time? This is going to be super, super useful for you too. Now, the 4 milestones of momentum are this, and we're going to go and work in reverse order. So success, that comes from momentum. So making sure that you've got this momentum, this ball rolling, if you do that for long enough, success will come. Success will come. Momentum comes from taking consistent action. So if you're taking consistent action on a frequent basis, you will gather momentum. If everything's a bit sporadic, a bit hit and miss, you know, one day you're doing something, the other day you're doing something else, and it's not all very, very well coordinated, you're not going to get that momentum, and therefore you're not going to get that success. So consistent action, now that comes from having a defined plan. Now, whether you are trying to lose weight or you're trying to build muscle, tone, get in shape, whatever you want to call it, you want to just look good, butt naked, whatever it is, when you're bumping uglies with your other half, you just want to look good and feel good. Whatever your goal is, you're going to have a plan in place. And I don't mean a plan for actually bumping the uglies. I mean a plan for actually getting to that point where you've got the lean, strong, badass body that you want. So you're going to have a well-defined plan to get there. Now, a well-defined plan comes from a deep, deep understanding of your goal and, more importantly, why you want to achieve it. So they're the 4 milestones of momentum. So first of all, you need to be really super clear on your goal. Then you need to say, well, from that goal, now I've got a really, really well-defined plan. From that plan, you need to take consistent action on that plan. And then once you start taking consistent action, you will gain the momentum that you need. And if you keep that ball rolling, you will get the success. So they are the 4 milestones of momentum. But what I want to do now is really pull you right back to square one. Because if we get the goal really well defined, you are going to now be able to kickstart your process to actually maintaining, if you're already on that journey already, or just getting started in the right way. So this is a bit of a summarized view of what I teach to my clients in terms of how to set goals and how to really, really get specific. Because a lot of you out there, you know, I've spoken to some of you on the phone or via video call, and a lot of you say pretty much, again, variations on a theme, but it'll be, I want to lose weight and I want to tone up, build muscle, whatever it is. It's a variation on that theme, that you want to lose some body fat and you want to maybe get a slightly more muscular physique. Now, that really is only part of your goal. That's not your full goal. There's a lot deeper reason why you want to achieve that goal. It might be that you are not happy with what you look at in the mirror. You might be very, very timid in social situations. You might shy away from being in groups. You might shy away from going out because you don't feel comfortable in clothes. You might It might be affecting your relationship because you don't feel comfortable in front of your partner. It might be that you don't feel like you're a good role model for your kids. You feel like you're an unhealthy example to your kids. Now, they're the deeper reasons why you want to achieve the weight loss, the fat loss, and to build muscle in the first place. The weight loss and the fat loss and getting a badass body is kind of like the output. That's it. Now, you really got to understand, okay, why is it that I want to achieve that? Now, it doesn't have to be something as extreme as those examples I gave. Some people just say, I just really want to look fucking brilliant. But again, why do you want to look fucking brilliant? And all those different sorts of things. There's lots of different things you've got to start to unpick. And it's until you do that, you don't really get a clear defined set of goals. You don't get a defined plan. You then don't take consistent action. And then you're back in that hamster wheel of going, falling off the wagon, starting something new again, and never again setting the goals properly. You're never setting the plan to achieve the goals. And then you wonder why you're disappointed each time. And you start this cycle and this loop consistently, day after day, week after week, year after year. You go through this process, but you don't really break the cycle. So this is what this piece of information is all about. It's about breaking that cycle. So what we do is we start right back at the beginning. Now I'm reading some notes here. That's why I want to make sure I'm getting all the information across. That's why I'm looking down. Now, what I would recommend you do is there is a TED Talk by a guy called Simon Sinek who talks about start with why. Now, he's written a book, but trust me, the 15-minute TED Talk is enough to summarize the entire book. So you can buy the book if you want, but I would say just watch the TED Talk. And it's really, really powerful. He used an example of Apple versus Dell and things like that, in a sense that, why do people just gravitate towards Apple as this huge, company and a product, and, they just gravitate towards this company as being like super, super, great. They're obviously, making lots of money. Now, they make computers, as do Dell, but the difference is that you're buying into almost like a lifestyle with Apple, whereas Dell say, oh, I've got this processor that does 1.4 gigahertz. It's fucking boring. Whereas Apple is more about something different. They're connecting with you on a different level. And he really explains this super, super well, is why he's in a business context. Why are you starting your business? Why should people be interested in you as a person? And it's the same thing for your goal in a health and fitness way. Really, 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 why is it that you want to achieve your goal? Why is it you want to lose weight? Why is it you want to lose body fat? Why is it you want to build muscle, be leaner, tone, more strong, and all that sort of stuff? Why is it you want to achieve that? You don't have to tell anybody this. This is just you can internalize this. So I would absolutely 100% recommend you get super honest with yourself. You don't bullshit yourself. You don't sort of gloss over this sort of section. You don't have to actually publicly announce any of this, but you do have to be honest with yourself to say, this is why I want to achieve this particular goal. This is why it would make me super happy to change my life, to, transform my body into what I want it to be. And then you kind of would write a statement. You would write a statement that explains, into detail, I want to achieve a leaner, healthier body because I want to feel more confident in social situations. I no longer want to have to worry about what I'm wearing because I don't feel that I look good in it. And I don't want to worry about whether I have the lights on or off when, I'm with my partner and things like that. It's really like you write out this statement of why it is that you want to achieve that goal. And again, all I would say is that you don't have to share this with anybody, but you do have to be honest with yourself. Otherwise, you'll get nothing out of it. And this kind of really starts to peel back the onion, to use a stupid metaphor, in terms of what it is that's really, really driving you to achieve your goal. And once you start to pick these things apart, you can start to make really, really solid goals moving forward that, let's fast forward 6 months down the line, and you're at that point where you're thinking about, oh, I'm not sure if I'm doing well, and I'm thinking about quitting. This is all getting too hard. You then kind of say, okay, well, why the fuck am I doing this? And then you pull out that statement, and then you reconnect with that why. And because that's such more powerful why than I want to lose 5 kilos, it reinvigorates you to really focus on being down that path again. If all you did was come out and say, I want to lose 5 kilos, when you get 6 months further down the line and you look back at your statement that just says, well, I just want to lose 5 kilos, it's like, meh, it's like, who cares? And you'll just think, well, I'm not getting there. Oh, this is all crap. And then you'll go down a different route and, be back in that cycle. So really come and be honest with yourself. That would be my first point. The other thing would be to say, brutally honest with yourself. How important is this to you right now? I imagine like we've all got super amount of things going on, lots of different things going on, but what is the reason why, and how important is it to you that you achieve that now? So is it a 1 out of 10 in the sense that, I can't really be asked, doesn't really that important to me? Or is this like, aside from family and things like that, which are always like top of the agenda, is this like the most important thing in your life right now that you could do? And, really understand, okay, why did I give myself that score? Why did I give myself a 5? Or why did I give myself an 8? Or why did I give myself a 10? And if you're not a 10 out of 10, then again, say, well, what's the difference? What's the difference to get me to a 10? And really focus in on that. So you're getting this statement. So that's where you start. I would call that like your current state. Where is your mind at right now? Why is it you want to achieve that goal? How important is it to you? And be brutally honest. And that's the first step on this process. You then want to say, you create your future vision. So how do you want to feel? So you might have gone through this process and said that all the stuff about I want to feel confident in social situations. I want to look at myself in the mirror and I don't want to be ashamed. Now, what's your future vision? What is it you want to achieve? I want to have a body that I consider to be lean and toned. I want to be able to, confidently walk down the beach on holiday and not worry about people looking at me. I want to, go into a clothes store and not worry about, if this will look good on me because it's sort of tight in all the wrong places. Again, what is it that you want to feel? What is your future vision? And again, write that statement down. So you have these 2 statements. You have where you are right now, how you feel, brutally honest, how important it is to you on a scale of 1 to 10. Then where are you looking to get to in terms of your future vision? And then you've now got this really, really stark image of yourself, like almost like a visual image of yourself right now and a visual image of where you want to be. This is now getting like a real sort of big picture stuff of you can kind of almost see yourself, actually picture yourself as that person you want to be. How do you look? Visualize it. How do you feel? Where are you? All these different sorts of things that really make that vivid, so that when you do, as I say, start to execute on your plan, you then start to make that happen. And you can see that future vision, you start to connect to it. So that would be step 2. Step 3 is to figure out what is in your way. Now, this is super important because, again, you can say, well, this is where I am now and this is where I want to get to. So let's just go to the gym. Yeah. But it's not as easy as that, because there's going to be pieces of knowledge that you don't have, or there is things that you don't quite understand, or things that you're confused by. Some dude that's told you keto is the fucking awesome thing, or some dude said you got to do keto, paleo and intermittent fasting all at the same fucking time. Now that might have confused you. So what is in your way right now? Is it you don't have enough nutrition knowledge? Is it a case that you don't have knowledge of what to do in the gym? Is it a case of, all these different sorts of things? Have you got injuries? All this sort of stuff. What is it that is standing in your way? Is it almost like a mental thing? Is that you don't believe that you can get there? Maybe it is a case of you lack accountability. Maybe it's a case that you are nervous about stepping into the gym for the first time. Or all these different things is really, really, really make a long list, as long as it needs to be. What are all the things that do and can and will stand in your way of achieving that goal? And that can be like really, really simple things like, I ain't got a gym membership, that's going to stand in my way. Or, I haven't got accountability, or I don't know what I'm doing. I can't construct a training program. I can't do nutrition. I'm really super confused. You write all these things to say, well, this is brutally honest, what I don't know. And this is going to be the obstacles that are going to be my pitfalls on my journey. So already you can see just by these 3 steps that it is not about, I want to lose 5 kilos. That is not a goal. It's horseshit. It's part of a goal. You've really got to go multiple layers down, because there's no point setting a goal if there's no plan that comes off the back of it. And you can't set a plan if you don't know all of the things that you need to achieve. So like if you were building, I don't know, I mean, I've never built a fucking skyscraper, but let's say I was trying to build a skyscraper. You clearly, there's going to be, if I'm sat there going, maybe I'm like the designer dude and I'm designing this skyscraper. There's loads of shit that I don't know about how to actually fucking build a skyscraper. I don't know, materials. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know about foundation structure. So you write all this shit down. It's like, how do we actually make this fucking skyscraper? And it's going to be like all these different things. So you build up these lists, and for you, it's going to be all about your nutrition, your training, mindset, all these different component parts. What is it that are going to be your obstacles, and write those down. Then step 4, I think we're on step 4, is what help do you need to resolve those issues? So is it a case of you need to binge listen to my podcasts, for example, about how to get the answers? You're going to say, okay, well, these are all the questions that I had. I'm going to go through Simon's podcast and see if he's given me the answers already. And then I'm going to listen to those and I'm going to take action. I'm going to put those into place. Is it the fact that, okay, well, I haven't got a gym membership, so I'm going to fucking just go to the gym and get a gym membership? Is it that you haven't got accountability and therefore you're going to seek out an accountability buddy? Maybe it's a training partner, who's someone at work who also wants to achieve a similar goal. Or maybe it's you go down the route of like something like me, you go for like a coach or something like that to help you with honing all this stuff and getting all these component parts in place. I'm not saying that you have to come and use a coach like me, but obviously there is an advantage to doing that. But you can kind of, again, once you understand what your obstacles are, you can make logical decisions about where it is that you need to fill those gaps. And until you fill those gaps with the right information, the right knowledge, and the right support, guess what? When you start to execute on that plan and try and achieve that goal, it's all going to falter down. So that would be step 4, is once you figure out what your obstacles are, figure out what help you need to overcome those obstacles. And that's really where the goal setting process kind of then starts to move into the actual goals that kind of you're thinking about, the goals that you know and love. So this will be where you're talking about, okay, I want to lose 5 kilos. I want to be able to bench press, I don't know, the weight of a fucking bear, or whatever it is that you want to do. That's the point at which you then start to set these goals. And there'll be 2 sections of goals. One will be an input goal, one will be an output goal. Now, let me explain the difference between the 2. So an output goal is like the final product. And that is, for example, you've lost 10 kilos, or you can lift 100 kilos on a bench press. That's an output goal. That's output of all the stuff that you've done. The output is, I am now 10 kilos lighter. Cool. Now, an input goal is far more powerful than that, because let's say that you start out on your journey today, and then you're going to say, I want to lose 10 kilos. If that's all you do, and that's all you focus on, when it comes to day 3 of your program, you're looking at where you are now versus 10 kilos. And guess what? You're not going to shift a lot of weight in 3 days. So then you're saying, oh, this is really demotivating. I'm nowhere near my 10 kilo goal. And then even like 2 weeks in, you might only have made a dent of about half a kilo or a kilo in that particular goal. And you still think, oh, this is so fucking far away. I'm getting so demotivated, because you've really just hung your hopes and hung your hat on this one output goal. So really what you kind of want to do is have the output goal. That might be what you want to do. So maybe like 1 to 2 output goals, whether that is, I want to fit into a 32 waist trouser, or I want to bench press 100 kilos, I want to lose 10 kilos, whatever it is. They're your output goals. Have 1 or 2 of those. But then you want to have several input goals. Now, an input goal is something you're going to do on a daily or weekly basis that is an incremental small step to getting you further towards your end goal. Now that might be, I want to make sure I go to the gym 3 times a week. I want to make sure I hit my calorie deficit 7 days a week. I want to make sure that I hit a certain amount of protein. I want to make sure that I have 200 grams of green vegetables with 2 of my meals, or whatever it is. All these different things that you could see that if you start to do those things daily over a course of a week, a month, or whatever, all of those things would incrementally push you towards your goal and achieving that final goal of losing 10 kilos. And then it becomes much more motivating, much more powerful for you to then focus on these input goals, because they are things that you can see happening day to day. Did I hit my calorie goal? Yes. Awesome. Boom. Did I hit my calorie goal 7 days in a row? Yes. Awesome. Boom. Now you can say, right, okay, now that's very motivating to say, yeah, I did that. Okay. And then as you'll see that as you start to do more and more of these input goals, actually that does have a material impact on your weight, your body fat, and all of those other different measures that you may traditionally have looked at. So it's really important to focus on more input goals than output goals. And then once you start to do that, you can then put a plan in place to say, okay, these are the input goals I want to achieve. This is how I'm going to do it. I've got a plan in place. Now it's just about executing. So like I said, right back at the beginning, is that success comes from momentum. Momentum comes from consistent action. Consistent action comes from, what does it come from? Defined plan. I knew this shit, don't worry. And a defined plan comes from deep understanding of your goal. And they are the 4 milestones of momentum. So working that forwards, focus on your goal first. Set your plan, take consistent action. You'll get the momentum. Momentum over time will get you to your success. So that's what you need to remember. So I would urge you to really go through that goal setting process, really in finite detail. And like I said before, you don't have to make any of that stuff that we talked about up front a public thing, but be honest with yourself, because until you're honest with yourself, you won't get anywhere, I'm afraid. So cool. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, this little piece of content to guide you through the 4 milestones of momentum. If you did, let me know. You can always drop me a message here. You can drop me a message on Instagram at iron_paradise_fitness. That's where I like to hang out. So come say hi. And I would also say that I've put a link into the notes as well, where you can access a free 4-week training program. So if as part of your plan, you want to get started a foot on the ladder in terms of getting to the gym and executing a good training program, I'm giving you that for free. You can go and download that. Just click the link in the notes and that is yours. Over the course of the 4 weeks of that program as well, I'm going to give you a bunch of other pieces of information. So when you download that program, there's also a workout tracker in there. There is links to videos to show you how to do those exercises. There's alternative exercises if you haven't got pieces of equipment that I've put in there in the gym. But then on day 2, I'm going to send you a guide on how to calculate your calories and your macros. I'm also going to send you a guide on how to manage cravings. I'm going to send you a guide on living leaner at work, because we all know that trying to stay lean while you're at work is a bit of a challenge. And I'm also going to send you stuff like recipe packs and a bunch of other cool information. And I will also, halfway through that, I will bung you on my daily email list where you'll get some cool, badass, exclusive content to help you out as well. So if that's what you feel like you need, maybe that's one of your obstacles. All of that stuff that I just went through, maybe some of that is your obstacles. Cravings might be your obstacles. Trying to stay on plan at work might be one of your obstacles. A training program, knowing how many calories you need, these all might be the obstacles that you might list out when you go through that goal setting process. If they are, click that link, and therefore you've got some of the help that you need to help kickstart that process. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I will speak to you very, very soon. But for now, all I'll say is keep living the lean life, and I'll see you soon.